Guys, making a video tonight real quick before I forget. It's dark in here, sorry. I'm not turning the light back on because my melatonin. I take melatonin, so if I have the light on, it does the opposite. Um, this video is on the importance of tapering and how tapering is correlated with getting off of hardcore opiates when you literally have no other way to do it. Can't even get kratom. But you can score somehow, of course, so unfortunately, this is the only way to do it for some people. Tapering, yeah. So, tapering doesn't mean it has to be too nasty or hardcore or whatever. Here's one thing before I even start going. I had a weird habit of not using enough to keep myself completely out of withdrawal, but also not feeling super sick. You know what I mean? I never really used to take a whole 2 pills at once. I wasn't that kind of a guy that slammed them. I would just use because when I start to feel my depression, because I had major depressive disorder. At 13, I was diagnosed, so I accepted death at that age, and that's scary. So I've had a lot of lows, and my brain would always, like a gas meter, go up and down. But when it got to the point where I started to feel that depression coming along, I should have taken kratom because that rips the depression right out of you, by the way. If you ever have an episode, you don't use it every day. Just if you have a major depressive episode or, if you're a sufferer like me. I would use microdosing, basically. I would microdose my drug just to feel normal. Slightly happy, but normal. And a little energetic, but not completely torn off my ass, you know what I mean? But the importance of tapering is because, one, yes, the mental crash won't be that bad because here's what you do. When you're using just enough to feel normal, like what I tell people with fentanyl, because it's so hard with these pressed pills, just only use and let yourself feel normal and then count the hours, repeat, count the hours, repeat, all those hours in between. Most of it's leaving your body and you're only inducting 1/5 into your body compared to what your usual dose is. So put down the bundles and start doing it that way, you know what I mean? When you jump off, it won't be that bad. You might have minor sweating, but you won't have all the mental crash side effects. I'm not a doctor or anything, but this is from experience. I've withdrawn many times before, unfortunately. My shitty luck I had scoring in terms of my dealer running out or something or whatever. But the tapering is really important because what's happening is your brain is getting used to not having as much in you daily. You know what I mean? Let's say you were banging out 5 fentanyl pills in a day, and then you did your tapering, and now you're used to having 2, and you feel fine with it. You know what I mean? That's not a bad thing. That actually means that you've titrated most of it out of you. You got to be careful though, because now I'm telling this for people that can try to get some self-control and not go crazy, because you don't want to fall back into the pattern and stuff. The point is to get the hell off the shit. So stop being stupid and just, oh, I don't feel right. I'm gonna take a little more. No, if you are not sweating, panicking, you don't have anxiety, that's pretty much it. Just chill out and your body temperature is normal. You know what? Even if you can handle a little bit of sweating or a little bit of body temperature fluctuations, that's good though. That's good. That means you're letting more out of you. You get what I'm saying? But for the slow, easier way, you know what I mean? Tapering gets your brain used to not having as much inside you daily as your daily dose would be. And then eventually, the more you do that, to stretch that out a little longer, it'll be used to 1, and then it'll be used to a half of 1 in a day. And by that time, you can just jump. And if you need to use kratom, use kratom. If you need to gabapentin, whatever the hell you can do. You know what I mean? You might even get away with just blood pressure meds. Might help. They might do everything for you, but at that point, you're not going to be having that crazy panic, mental crash. You know what I mean? You have to taper. Tapering is so important, and it really helps that mental, especially people with mental disorders. You know what I mean? That stuff's going to be there once the drugs are gone. Even when you're detoxed, you have to accept it. It sucks. I know. You know what I mean? I'm right there next to you. But seriously though, tapering is very important. And if Another thing you gain out of it is self-control. You know what I mean? Like something that you probably haven't had in fucking years. Obviously, that's why your life was out of control. But you know what I mean? You're gonna get used to that again, and then you're gonna. And also another thing is when you're tapering and you're using just enough to feel normal. You know what I mean? And then cutting your dose. You're gonna get your brain used to feeling normal again. So take the time where you're not feeling high and just right. And just do some self-searching, do some self-thinking. Think to yourself, this is what it's like to be normal. This is what it's like to be normal. I'm not high, you know what I mean? I'm just normal. Eventually, you keep doing that, your brain's gonna get used to being normal, and you're gonna only want that feeling. You're not gonna want the other feeling. You might have the craving for the high, but most of the time, the cravings and all that stuff, a lot of that stuff is chemical fluctuation. It's not real. Addicts, they would stop if they could, they would, you know what I mean? But you obviously can't because it's a chemical imbalance, it's a disease, it's not a fucking. Yeah, it starts from a choice and then it ends up as a disease. Okay. Some people choose to drink Coca-Cola the rest of their fucking life and look at the problems they have. You get where I'm going with this? You all have addictions. Stop fronting on people telling them, oh, yeah, you're a fucking addict. Screw off, dude. You fucking stop eating sugar for like fucking 3 days. Tell me you don't get the fucking shakes and chills. Like, excuse my language, but come on. You know what I mean? So, guys, don't feel so fucking horrible about yourself. Here I go again with the language. Don't feel so horrible. You know what I mean? Just do it. You know, what have you got to lose? Like, it's an easier way to do it. This is for people that don't have access to anything, you know? But they can score. That big ass batch you buy? Make that last you like 3 fucking weeks. You know what I mean? You guys gotta try it at least. Like, give it a shot. Stop thinking that there's only 2 ways out, methadone and Suboxone. I support Suboxone. I think it's the better choice than methadone. I don't have anything against methadone either. People, if you use it correctly, they do fine. You know what I mean? But for people that literally are just mind screwed and just panicking every day, freaking out, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I was always depressed and anxious even when I was using because I was never withdrawal was always at bay waiting right there for me. Like I swear to you, it was waiting for me I would go to bed at 11 and wake up at 1 a.m. sweating, freezing cold. That's how I knew. So you know what I mean? I tapered too before, fentanyl. I've tapered like. And believe it or not, it leaves your body pretty quickly. The street fentanyl crap, it leaves your body pretty quickly. It's not like medical grade where it stores in your fat cells. Like, not all fentanyl analogs do that. And there's multiple types of norfentanyl, carfentanyl, fentanyl. God, like, come on, it came out in the 60s. You know what I mean? It's been around. It's not unknown to man. It just wasn't involved in the epidemic like it is now. Anyway, back to the point before I end this video. Guys, just try it. Just try it and keep me posted. I want to know what you guys are doing. I want to know if it's working for you guys. I want to know that you guys are not going insane. And if you are, say something, please. Don't, oh God, everything's fine. You're fucking going crazy, snorting off, you know what I mean? Fat lines and say, no. You got to try to have some self-control. I know you can do it. Dude, if you could score the way you do, and everybody, dude, look at me. If you can score the way you did, all that